Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out the GitGud course. Instead of just understanding concepts, you'll learn how to implement them directly into your driving. What makes it effective is the approach and practical drills. Together, we're gonna focus on breaking down those complex concepts into small digestible bits that are simple to understand. Everything from the course was tested and refined during the years in coaching sessions, so what I ended up with was the ones that I saw were the most effective. Let's elevate your racing skills together. Now for the track guide. Before starting, if you enjoyed this content, giving it a like and a subscribe, it's a free way to support the channel as I can continue developing videos like this for more sim racers. Now going into the track guide itself, for turn 1, my reference for braking is this beginning of the curve around here. So I'm generally looking at the grayish part or the darker part on the left side of the white line after the last white line around here. So this is my area for braking, after this white line and the beginning of the curve. Somewhere between them you want to push the brakes. If you want to brake a bit harder, you will look more closely to the beginning of the curve. If you want to be a bit more conservative with the tires, you will look more towards this white line. But my braking point is around here, if you see, at the beginning of the white part of the curve. I'm pushing the brakes and I want to brake very hard in a straight line. You have the car top speed almost, so you really have to take advantage of the downforce of the car to stop it as quickly as you can. So, two things going on. Pushing the brakes to 100%, if you're not able to do that, lower the brake bias. I'm using the fixed setup and I'm using the 54.3 brake bias value in this lap. So as you notice, I'm going and hitting 100%. I'm focusing to still staying on the white line here. Don't brake on the curb, just follow the white line and turn late into the corner because you have to bleed off the brakes firstly so that you can turn. You won't have enough grip to brake and turn at the same time whenever you're braking this hard. So force yourself to turn later into the corner, and if you're locking up the inside right tire, then you have to brake just a bit earlier or change your brake bias value. Now going into the apex itself, you have to trail brake more than you think because there's a lot of grip here on the inside part of the curb. If the car will go more towards the left side, you will lose grip just because of this elevation change. And I like to use this curve to put the throttle on it. Like right now I'm mounting this curve and I'm going downhill. This helps the car because you can carry a bit more speed and this curve will help the car turn a bit more. So I'm putting the throttle and I'm arriving to 100%, and on the exit I'm not all the way to the left, but notice that I'm mostly on the left side rather than right. So it's mostly center left because you have enough time for the next corner to reposition, so you don't have to sacrifice turn 1 so that the car will be all the way to the right. Push it mostly to the left, hold your throttle, go in 4th gear, and right now what I'm doing is the moment that I'm not seeing the second purple banner on the right side, so when the last banner appears here and the previous one is finished, I'm dropping the throttle. I'm doing this drop with the throttle and I'm picking back up immediately after when I know that I can straighten up my car. So my goal into this sequence of corners is to go and carry as much speed as possible. I'm not even braking, it's just a small lift. You're gonna do that small lift and then whenever you feel like you can quickly straighten up your wheel, then you're gonna hit 100% again because you want now to shoot the car deep into this corner. This is a very long corner, and if you will stay tight, meaning if you will brake too much here, if you will try to follow this curve and the white line all the way towards the exit, you will lose a lot of time because this is a long corner. So our approach with the long corner is doing more like a V-shaped line. So I'm pushing the car deep like this while braking, and then I'm picking it back up and following the curb on the exit. So this is gonna be key. In terms of braking point, I'm braking whenever I'm hitting the curb. So right now when I'm on the curb, I'm applying the brakes. Be mindful because if you will mount the curb too much, then on the highest part of the curb you will find there's less grip because the car will sit in an uncomfortable position. So use the curb, brake on it, but don't go all the way to the grass because otherwise you will lock up the tires. So using just enough track and braking when hitting the curb, you don't have to brake very hard, but you have to hold the brakes a bit. Because whenever the car will go more in the middle, you will pick up the throttle. I do some corrections with the throttle around here to make sure that I'm carrying the right amount of speed. But in the end, my exit is, again, it's on center left, but not all the way to the left because you won't have enough time to reposition for the next one. And for the next corner, I'm pushing the car to the right side. So right now I'm going on the right side of the track, but not all the way to the right side. And whenever I'm seeing this curb around here, the one on the left side, I'm aiming to cut it very late around this portion where the curb starts to twist. So there's a bit of kink here, wherever you're going straight and then it starts going left again. So I'm planning to cut it around here, and while doing so I'm just barely hitting the brakes, like 6% braking, hitting this curb and then putting the throttle back on and doing a lift for the next one. So we have like a double apex approach around here, two left-handers. For the first left-hander, whenever I'm going to it, I'm braking just whenever I'm arriving at it, like right now. I'm pushing barely the brakes, I'm going back on throttle, I'm pushing the car more towards the center, but not too much, so it's still center left, but just a bit pushing towards the center after you hit that apex. And for the second one, whenever you're seeing it like this, you just have to do a lift, cut it all the way to the grass, and then put the throttle back on so that you will use all the track here. So this is a high-speed circuit, a lot of high-speed corners except turn 1 and turn 2. So everything right now is gonna be just a good flow. You have to carry as much speed as you can. And for the next corner, what I'm trying here to do is to open up as much as I can. I'm putting my left tires on this curb, but don't go all the way to the green. You don't want to use the green part. Even though it won't be an off track, this curb has a bit of height, and whenever you will cross it from the green to the curb, the car will be sluggish to turn and you will have to go over it, and then you will lose time. So use all the way the curb but not on the green. And when turning into this corner, what I'm doing here, a small brake, 5% braking, cutting this part of the curb and then putting the throttle back on, using this curb on the exit, but don't go again all the way and use the green. Whenever you will turn, you can even spin the car because of the height of the curb. So don't use all the track, just use the yellow and red part of the curb. Next corner right here is gonna be flat. What I'm doing though, so I'm ignoring this curb on the left side and I want to push the car all the way to the outside for the next corner. So right now I'm going around this curb so that I can arrive on this part right here. This is important, so you can take the next ones flat as well. So you don't want to go all the way on the darker part. Again, the same thing, you just want to use the yellow and red curb, turning into the corner flat, using all the track here, and now you're taking this corner flat and using all the track on the exit. High speed stuff. Now going into the last part of the sector, my braking point is at the end of this curve. I brake a bit too early in this lap. I think there's 1/10 left into this corner, so I think the proper braking point, if you push it to the limit, is gonna be the end of the curve, meaning this white triangle around here. But if you're a bit more conservative, just brake a bit earlier than that. Downshifting to 4th gear, cutting a bit this curve while putting the throttle back on, and using all the track. You can even use a bit more than this, so you can go just few, I think maybe it's 20 centimeters, something like that, more towards the right side. Don't use the green, but use all this curve, so you can use a bit more the curve. That's gonna be fine. And the last corner, braking point is gonna be slightly after this white line around here. After the white line, you're gonna apply the brakes. You don't want to brake very hard into this corner because there's a lot of grip going uphill, and the fact that you're going uphill, we're gonna slow the car down even more. So in 3rd gear, a sharp brake, as you can see, and immediately putting the throttle back. You have to go very early on throttle here. It's a long straight up until turn 1. The earlier you're gonna be on throttle, the most of the time you're gonna gain. You want to cut this curve almost to the grass because you can use this part of the curve very nicely, and you have to push your car on the exit around here, even a bit more here. Even a bit more on the right side, you will carry a bit more speed. And in short, that's a track guide with F4 on this track. I think it's gonna be a good track to race, just because a lot of high-speed corners, a lot of drafts, so definitely it's gonna be a good week. And of course, if you want to improve even more, if you like my style, then check out the sim racing course. It's in the video description. It's a video course. It has a lot of value into it and I highly recommend anyone to try it out. Thanks for watching and looking forward to see you on the next video. Bye bye.